Alrighty, guys, this is part four, there's the camera, four of how to analyze and categorize information. This is the final part of module 3. So I'm sure you're ecstatic to hear that. But I do want you to check your face of learning. Where are you at? Hopefully you're like in this box right here, okay? If you're not, then let's talk about that and figure out how we can get you to where you feel a little bit more comfortable with this skill, okay? Final part of the Declaration of Independence, okay? Now, in this category section on slide 4, you have been putting in what you know and the questions that you want to ask. Well, in this portion of this slide, you are going to ask yourself, what did I learn? And are there any questions that are still not answered? So in this column here, you're going to write down 5 things that you learned about the Declaration of Independence based on parts 1 through 3. And then you're going to go ahead and list any questions that really weren't answered for you, okay? Slide 5, we are going to discuss what type of source is it? So is the Declaration of Independence a primary source or a secondary source? Okay, this is kind of important for any type of document that you look at or analyze. You want to determine for yourself, is it a primary source or a secondary source? A primary source is immediate firsthand accounts of a topic from people who had a direct connection with it, okay? They can include texts of laws and other documents, newspaper reports by reporters who witnessed an event or who quote people who witnessed the event. Speeches, diaries, letters, and interviews that are written by those people. Original research, data sets, survey data such as census or economic statistics, photographs, video, or audio that capture an event. So when you're on your cell phones and you take a video of something that's going on, that's a primary source. It happened at that time, you were there to witness it, and you caught it on camera. Now, a secondary source is one step removed from primary sources, okay? They often quote or otherwise use primary sources, and they can cover the same topic. So a lot of these are going to be books about a topic, so textbooks, anything that we would read in class that is talking about different types of information or events that occurred, so those would be secondary sources. Analysis of interpretation of data, scholarly or other articles about a topic, and documentaries. Even though they have first-hand accounts and they also have video or maybe footage that was a primary source, they're using primary sources, but they're telling it in a secondary source way. All right. So this is one question that you'll kind of want to be able to answer anytime you look at a document. Is it a primary source or is it a secondary source? So familiarize yourself with these two types of sources, okay? Now, on slide 6, you're going to determine what type of source is the Declaration of Independence. You're going to write in here whether it's a primary source or a secondary source, and you're going to give me an explanation why. Please make sure it's a complete sentence or sentences. Don't just bullet point it, please. Okay. Slide 7, I am giving you the excerpt to examine. And out of this excerpt, you are going to answer a series of questions on slide 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4 questions to answer based on this excerpt. Okay, now you're going to use the information that you've gathered over the course of the last 3 primary source analysis tasks. So you're gathering information about the Declaration of Independence. You're going to examine this excerpt, and then you're going to go ahead and answer questions, okay? So I'm going to read the excerpt to you, and then you're going to answer the questions based on this. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Okay. Slide 8, I have gone ahead and put the quote right here, the excerpt right here for you. It's a little bit difficult to see it on this portion, but if you zoom in, you can see it, okay? But I want you to understand that I put it in here so that you can, oops, sorry guys. We'll zoom out of that one. I wanted you guys to be able to see the text while you're getting ready to write, okay? So let's scroll here. Okay, right there. Okay. So you're going to answer the following question based on the excerpt. What is the author's intent in creating this source? Explain using information from the source, okay? So based on what you know and based on this excerpt, using information from this excerpt, why did the author write this? Okay, what was the reasoning for it? What was his intent or her intent? We all know it's a male that wrote it, okay? But we're going to say, what was his intent? Okay. Slide 9, I've done the same thing. I've still pasted the excerpt here for you to view. The question is going to be, what time period and type of document is this source? Explain your reasoning. So when did it occur and what kind of document is it? So think about your primary sources, what this is, and then you're going to explain why you think that way, okay? The slide 10 question is, what were 3 important pieces of information expressed in this source? So go ahead and choose 3 key facts that you liked from the source that you thought were really important and explain why they're important. And slide 11, okay? Slide 11 says, what is the context, the theme or topic of the source, and was the author successful in documenting it? What was it about, and was the author, did he express what he wanted? And did you get that information from the document? Was it a success? And then I want you to explain why, okay? The directions for each slide are down in the bottom. Unfortunately, this Screencastify is blocking it, but you can easily just check and see what the instructions are at the bottom of each slide, okay? And it's going to be the same instructions. Answer the questions based on the excerpt. Be sure to answer completely. Did you answer the prompt with an appropriate explanation? Okay, so please make sure that you are answering completely. So one sentence is not going to sum it up. You're looking for at least probably a minimum of 4 to 5 sentences, maybe a little bit more, to fully explain your answer as well as address the prompt in its entirety, okay? So if you have any questions about this, please email me, give me a call, text me. I'm available to help you with this. I just want to know, based on everything we've done with this lead up, can you answer these questions on this excerpt and with the information that you've gathered over the last couple of tasks, okay? No pressure, do your best as we always can, and if there's any errors, we can go back and fix it. All right, guys?